Aloha! Today I would like to share with you the way that I observe new moon manifesting. I typically refer to this as intention setting with the new moon. I like to work with the new moon the most, although I do observe full moon times, which are special times, and there's really never a bad time to work with the moon to me. But the new moon really is my favorite. So I thought I would share with you some of the tools that I have that help me get myself set up to really make a solid and clear intention about what it is I seek. So the first thing is an ongoing process. I have my journal, and I try to journal as frequently as possible. I'm not that disciplined. I don't do it every day, but I do try and do it something as much as possible. I tend to be a sprinter where I will jot things down for several days in a row, and then I will let it sit for a while and ruminate and let something else come up. Give it a little bit of time to see how the things that I've written are sitting and what follows those things. So that's my number one tool, is my journal. Another tool that I'm using is the good old Rider-Waite Tarot cards. Now, I did draw a card for the month of April recently, and it is the Ten of Cups, which is all about the completion of a process dealing with feelings and emotions, which it's been a solid year since lockdown began in April of 2020. So can you imagine a more perfect card for the beginning of the astrological new year in Aries? I could not. Completing of a process and hopefully the beginning of a new venture. Interestingly enough, as I have been checking in with myself, going internally, checking in with my spiritual team as well as myself, I have been seeing another card for the past couple of days that is important to this process with this intention setting cycle, and that is the Fool, the beginning of the journey with Tarot. Again, could there be a better card? I say no. This character, very dreamy look on their face, looking up towards the sun, about to step off the precipice, and I don't know, to me this person, yes, foolhardy, stepping off the cliff, not looking down, and the dog is trying to call attention to the danger, but I believe the Fool is optimistic and the Fool is trusting, and that is why they are stepping off the ledge in trust that they will be cared for, that they will be protected and supported. So I'm all for that one. Another tool that I use, and I use this a lot, the folks that know me will recognize my Chakra Deck. These are just a little laminated set of cards with all the different chakras on it that I use very often. And I did draw a card before I began the video, and it did come up the heart chakra, which makes a lot of sense because my intention for this astrology new year, new moon intention setting is to call human connections back into my life. It's been a year of a lot of isolation. I'm still spending a lot of time on my own, and I'm missing one-on-one as well as group human connections, probably the most right now. I've been very fortunate. My life is very well supported, but I miss human connection. So the next tool, you will see my lighted candle here. I like to use a white candle. Yeah, it has a little bit of a yellow, but citrine is not such a bad spot. Solar plexus for creating. So I have a white candle that I'll be using in my ritual this evening. And this is a rattle that I picked up recently here. and I will be using that rattle to also help call in my spiritual team under the night sky as I take these little strips of paper and I will write my very brief and clearly stated intention on a piece of paper and fold it up little teeny tiny, and then I stash it away someplace where I will forget about it. And I do more than one sometimes. Well, typically I will do more than one, so I don't think it matters. Whatever works for you is what works. So I will stash these away. On full moon, if I want something to go, if I'm releasing something, typically what I write down I will burn at the same time. But for a new moon, when I'm calling these things to me, I typically take my little wadded up intentions and as I said, I stash them away in a place where I will forget about it. And then I clear those places out maybe once or twice a year. It's always fun to go through those intentions and see what has come to fruition, and to see related to where you are now, to see how far forward you've moved from that, or if these things just didn't work out and you don't relate to it anymore at all. It's always fun to take a look at that and just see where you are. So yes, I will, this evening I will have my candle lit, I will use my rattle, and I will do my grounding and centering ceremony, and I will say my clearing prayer, asking my guides to come in and assist me on setting my intentions. And then I will take about 10 minutes probably with that process. It doesn't need to be a long, extended ordeal or ritual for me. And that's just what works for me. So I would love it if you would pop something down in the comments about what works for you, how you like to work with the new moon, or if you do or don't work with the new moon. If you would like to get a hold of me on my Facebook page, if you have a question, or if you would like something that's a little more private, shoot me a message and I would be more than happy to get back to you about that, especially if you have any questions. So I hope you have a great time with the new moon and the beginning of our symbolic new year, and I will see you again soon. A hooey ho!